Plasticon here. How you guys doing? I'm in the studio actually at work. I just wanted to give you guys a bit of a heads up of some of the stuff that I actually have planned for the channel. I know a lot of you guys have been watching my sales thread and a lot of that stuff going with the previous video I put up. And yeah, I was a little tired, under the weather, that kind of thing going on with the selling of a lot of my items. But yeah, it's one of those things. I just didn't want to. I really didn't want to put out a video crying about what I'm doing, stuff like that. You know, sometimes in life you gotta suck it up, and that's kind of what I'm doing. But the most part, got a lot of things going on. Currently, right now, I am in the process of getting a story written. We are going to be shooting a short film. I don't really give you guys any of the details or any of the stuff that's going to be going on, because some of it is kind of hush-hush, but it's going to be a pretty decent little short film. I actually have a few friends of mine in the area that I didn't know were really that interested in that. Some of them hadn't seen in years, so it's kind of cool. If you guys didn't know, I did move kind of back home after quite a few years. But the big thing is I just wanted to give you guys a bit of a vlog of what I do and why I tend to stay more positive than negative, especially in the situation I'm in. Currently right now, my car decided to take a tank on me. It's got an issue. Bought the part, got the part. It's coming in sometime soon. But the other thing is, I've got my home that has no water and electric still, no internet. The only places I can really upload is at work or my friend's house that does a lot of DJ things. He's a pretty busy individual. He's got a lot of things he's got going on, so it's just one of those kind of things that, you know, you can't really, I can't like hone in on his house all the time, but we do hang out a lot, and it's pretty cool. I'm actually pretty thankful I actually have some friends I can do stuff with, and this kind of helps keep me going, keeps me positive even in any situation I'm in. But the big thing is I wanted to, you know, give you guys a bit of a taste of some of the stuff that I do. Being a news reporter, there's a lot of things you've got to do when it comes to being a news reporter. First off, you got to know how to do true journalism. A lot of folks out there don't know what true journalism is. True journalism is where you take a real story or a real situation, or you go and you attend something and you get all the real facts and you put that thing together. And when you put it together, you have no biased opinions. You don't need a biased opinion. That is called true journalism. There's a lot of guys out there that don't understand this. Well, when you turn on the late night news, and I'm not dogging a particular news station, any of that stuff. All I'm saying is some of those guys have deep pockets, and some of the stuff that they say and put out there is questionable. Some of it is very biased. It's very this, very that. As far as I'm concerned, it shouldn't matter. You should just tell the real story. You should know what you're doing. This goes to any of you guys out there that's actually been thinking about doing the journalism world. It's very interesting, it's cool, and it's going to teach you a lot, especially about people, because sometimes you do something and people don't like that. And you put out something and there's no biased opinion about it, and most people are like, oh, well, I guess he did an okay job. He didn't point any fingers and such, which is not what you're supposed to do anyway when you do journalism. One of the big things that a lot of folks don't understand is when you report a news story, you want every fact you can possibly get. If you don't have enough facts, maybe it isn't time to release that story. Maybe it's time to do a little bit more digging or that sort of thing. Stuff like that. But that's kind of in the nutshell of some of the things that I tend to do. Currently right now I'm sitting in the studio. This is the studio. Yeah, I know we got a white wall. Our studio is supposed to be black. Depends on what you're shooting. We're shooting news here. We don't shoot Iron Man. I wish, but in the future, maybe. But the studio is primarily a older room where we had a lot of storage for overflow of books, and papers, and pens, and just documented stuff that just kind of got stuck in this one room, and then they've been working slowly on trying to get a lot of it out of here. Right now I'm sitting at what is called the editing station. This is where we actually do our streaming of our live casting and such, and it's on these Macs. We use Mac for quite a bit of the things we do around here. It's pretty neat. I do like what we've set up. I mean, I did a lot of the setup for some of this stuff. But these older Macs actually work pretty good for streaming like we do, and it handles everything just fine. The great thing is we can put up the stream, say it's going to come up, and then we post it on our website, and then smash it into Facebook so that way people watch it as soon as they possibly can. Now some people are like, why don't you just post it straight to Facebook? Because the whole point is to get traffic to the website, not Facebook. And that's one big stipulation a lot of people don't understand. It's like when I put up stuff on Facebook, normally you click on it, it's going to send you somewhere else. And that's what I try to do, because I don't want folks just thinking, oh, well, everything I post on Facebook is gospel. Not everything is. When it comes to a lot of the stuff that I like and share and stuff like that with you guys, I mean, you guys are the geek community, you guys are the ones that are into what is this and what is that and why do you like this but you don't like that, and certain things have to have certain kind of taste for me. Not everything that comes across the internet should be shared to me. Some of it should be more private instead of being posted on a particular one. A lot of you guys are like, well, why is your Facebook the same name as your personal account? Because Facebook forced me to change my name on my Facebook account. I do have a Facebook like page, and I'm still trying to get the hang of that thing, and I really don't like it. I honestly don't. It comes to posting stuff, and it's a pain, because I've got that one, and then I got my Generation 2 one, which, to be honest, I think the Generation 2 one fits me better. It fits Plasticon Studios better. It fits the whole persona of the craziness that we do. But yeah, it's just a lot of the stuff that I personally, have built and done. Like I said, this is the editing station. We have two different Macs here set up. One is primarily used to capture just nothing but video feed, and the other one is to actually do a lot of the streaming. I'm going to take you around here in a second here and kind of show you a few other little things we got going on, just to kind of give you guys a bit of a tour of what we do here. We are still in the process of doing stuff, so this is a in work. We are getting a little more solid on what we got going on, considering I've filtered out my equipment and it's now a lot of their own equipment. Some of the audio equipment is still mine, but that's going to be changed here in the future. But anyway, let's go ahead and take a bit of a tour. As you guys can tell, these are the books I was telling you about. And there's an entire shelf that goes all the way across. This shelf primarily has a second shelf that's behind a curtain over here, and that's all it's kind of like the storage area. We've been working on trying to convert everything over. You can obviously tell, old wood panel doors. This place has got a little bit of character behind it, because it's a very dated building. The building was built back in the 80s, so that's one of those things that you just have to kind of accept. Now, what we're looking at here, I've got actually two of these. These are Softbox Lights. Bought these primarily to do a lot of the kind of hue. It gets rid of some of the harsh lighting. That's what these guys primarily do, and they're really nice. They're great for studio use, for photos and such, but we're actually using it to light up the studio in order to highlight our talent. These are pro lights for what they really are. These low pros are not too bad. They're kind of cool.
They got these nice little adjustable barn doors. They got these little flare out things that these move around any direction you need. I mean, these can flare these things out. It's really interesting on how these things work. They're pretty neat. They got a flood and then a spot on them, which is kind of nice. And they're just on normal little stands. These stands are primarily something that you'll get like anytime you do purchase like any kind of photography equipment. You're going to end up getting stuff like this. Now people are like, well, why isn't this like really high grade crazy stuff? Well, because low budget stuff requires low budget thinking, and what you do is you primarily buy stuff that you can get within your budget. Well, we got a couple of these and we got some of those. This right here is actually a weighted bag that's on this boom right here that allows us to take this light and elevate it up to the ceiling, so that way we can actually use it to bring in more ambient light. If we want to light something in a different situation, stuff like that. We're going to be using it for a lot of photography as well as some of our actual broadcasting. Here we have the other softbox that I was telling you guys about. I can peel this thing here back and show you guys a little bit of what goes on the inside of these things. But see, just one big gigantic light. This is all reflective material on the inside. It's very difficult to tell, but it is silver. You can see it's silver now. But yeah, it's a real reflective material. These things are velcroed on, so they're really easy to remove. It's a great little setup. I do like it a lot. We ordered all this stuff off the internet. It wasn't too expensive, but it kind of gives you a bit of an idea of how to set up like a small studio at home. Camera wise, the one I'm currently using right now in my hand is a upgraded model of this little guy here. These little Sony camcorders are actually pretty decent. They're not too bad. The video quality is pretty decent, and I mean, you're not going to really get like push-pull focus and all that craziness out of these, but these are really good for just picking up a quick video, or if you just want to slap something on a tripod and just do like a quick vlog, or if you actually do want to shoot some bigger budget stuff. I actually shot a concert with one of these, and it allowed me to zoom in very far into the crowd, and when I got home and actually started doing all the editing, well, I shouldn't say home, I should say work, I got a lot of it done, and it was very good quality. It actually turned out pretty nice on this thing. So with the right lighting, these cameras are actually pretty good. The Sony cameras are actually not bad. The brand on the Handycam that are here, this one doesn't have a HDMI out. So sadly, I have to run this thing here out with the good old free-wire RCA. Now you guys are thinking, well, isn't that bad quality? It can be. But when you're doing casting like we're doing, we're primarily doing casting that is about local events, stuff like that. Nothing real crazy high-end things. If it's anything crazy and high-end, normally what we do is we'll send me out there to go video that previously, and then we'll put it together. The other thing is microphones. We have microphones. I actually got two different sets. These are little Samsonite mics I got actually at a Target. I had to pick up some in a quick hurry because I had a podcast I was going to do way back when I went to TFCon, and I needed to get hold of some decent mics. Well, these actually do the trick. These are my mics. These are not theirs. These are the ones that belong to me. But I bought these nice little foldable microphone stands. They're nice and adjustable too. That's what's great about them. They actually move up and down, and they're pretty nice. They're not too bad. And the great thing is they are XLR. I don't want to go into a whole lot of technical stuff on this thing, but XLR is primarily like the three little prongs that plug directly into the back of a microphone. Let's go on up here. These are called umbrella lights. An umbrella light, obviously, is because it's got an umbrella. Now these are square, which are kind of weird, but they come in like a normal umbrella, and you got them in all different kinds of shapes, really. I've seen them in all different weird ones. And we just use these standard fluorescent lights, depending on the wattage. I believe these are 65 watt that I have actually installed on these. Puts out enough light that it's not too much to flood everybody. Now the only thing I don't really like about these things is these only have an on-off switch, and that's all they have. they don't really have a what I call a variac or a dimmer. Eventually I'm going to end up probably putting all the lights on a dimming board, so that way I can adjust them. But that's something I'm going to do in the future. We've got this unit here, which kind of came down a little bit there, which I don't know why. I'm willing to not touch it right now. Anyway, primarily what this does is this is a green screen system. The green screen system comes normally with muslin, black, white, and green. The muslin, that is a type of material to use for filming. It's very heat resistant. It works really well, and it's designed for specifically photography. And what you do is you'll end up getting one of those. You'll get an actual stand system like this. These stand systems, they can extend out. This actually extends out further. I just don't have all the beams put in here. There's actually 4 instead of 3. And I'm using 3 because the banner's not that big, so I don't need a humongous piece. I mean, you really don't. You don't need all that. So there's times you just don't need too much. And obviously got another umbrella light. Yay, umbrella lights. Moving on over here to the other microphone. Remember, Samsung microphone. These are actually pretty nice. This one is actually wired in. This was one that I had to pick up in an awful hurry a long time ago, so that way it actually has a plug-in on this one that is particularly different than the rest. It plugs in, primarily, this particular mic has to have a sizer. Now the reason I bought one that has a smaller end is because a lot of DSLRs will allow you to plug a microphone directly in with this. And it works very well, especially if you're going to be trying to do a lot of electronic news gathering, stuff like that, and you're actually using a really good DSLR. This works very, very well. But, like I said, I had to have a sizer to allow me to plug that in. Now, let's move on to audio equipment. This is my Belkin Sound Studio. Actually, this one is not mine. This one belongs to the company. But I actually have one of these as well. And the reason I told them to buy one of these, yes, a lot of you guys are like, holy crud, that thing's about 3 or 4 years old. Yes, it is. It's not a very modern one, but it doesn't need to be the most modern thing in the world to do all the stuff that we're doing. The great thing I like about this is it's USB out. USB out allows us to stream directly to the computer without having to run a ton of breakout boxes, stuff like that, just to get the audio to it. Now you guys are probably wondering why I have these hooked in. Well, these right here is if I wanted to put any kind of sound clips, stuff like that, in as we're recording. That's what this is designed for. That is what the entire soundboard is actually designed to do. Everybody freaks out when they see a ton of knobs. Well, technically, if you know what this does in this one roll, then you know what they all do. There are slight differences, like this right here allows phantom power, which is for microphones that do not allow you to turn on without a battery inside of them. That's what that right there is primarily for. And right here is for this one. And this here is your monitor. Now when it comes to monitor out is, okay, if I'm going to run these to a left and right speaker, or if I'm going to run these to a left and right on a receiver or amplifier, this is primarily designed for music, but you can use it very, very well for just podcasting. Now these tune studios are actually kind of difficult to find now. I'm finding it's very few and far between to be able to find them, because a lot of podcasters and low budget guys are jumping on these things because these guys are great. The great thing is you have different ways of doing this stuff. Now you have iPod playback and USB input and all these little gadgets and gizmos. Read the manual, just go online and figure out exactly what every single solitary knob does. And the cool thing I like about this thing is I can take an old school iPod and plug it directly into this. It docks inside here. This allows you to put it on memo so you can record the session directly onto an iPod. The great thing about that, it allows portability. It allows you to have external storage for anything you're trying to do without having to hook up a computer. That's the great thing about that thing. And it's a great option. And it's one thing that I highly suggest that people purchase if you do purchase a Tune Studio. Now you guys are probably wondering what kind of headphones I use. You can get any kind of headphones really, but the ones I primarily are using are these little JVCs, which are pretty nice. They're not too bad. You can tell I've used them a lot because they're starting to crumple here. But that's what happens whenever headphones get a lot of love. And you guys are probably wondering what kind of crazy stand it is because it's like a mad scientist thing. Yeah, it kind of is. This is actually was designed back when we actually printed the news on actual paper through the printing press we have. This was actually a particular stand to use in order to stamp stuff because it had to be metal and it moves around. It's kind of an antique, but it actually worked out very, very well. Boom stand. This is a Powerline mic stand. That's primarily what it is. It's designed for desktops, and it's actually designed for quite a bit of things. If you do purchase one of these, it does not come with this. You have to purchase one of these separate. Primarily because these things are designed for your professionals. You guys are going to make music, stuff like that. It's got different ways to adjust it. This right here allows you to adjust the length of this. It's for this to move here to there, and that's all the length it is. And then you got this for up and down, and then this obviously to raise this thing up. But this base is one big solid chunk of metal. It's very heavy, but it's great if you're going to be doing any kind of audio stuff, especially if you're going to be planning on podcasting and such. This is an awesome tool, and I mean, if you set it up right, I mean, it's easy to move. You don't have to worry about it not falling over. I mean, I can move this thing here around all day and it doesn't tip, and it's pretty cool. I do like it, you know. It's a very good little device. And the reason I bought this versus another one of those, because at the time I was actually looking for another one of those and I couldn't find one, so I had to go to Guitar Center and I picked up one of these, which I don't regret because this has been a godsend since I got it. And you guys are probably wondering where I'm at right now. This is our editing center, or my editing center, because, you know, obviously, if you didn't realize this was mine. This is primarily a little Mac Mini that I'm using. That's what this little box is down here. This thing. That's been a very, very, very powerful little machine. I've been using this for editing for a long time now, and it's actually doing very, very well. You can obviously tell I'm just got done uploading a video for work. That's what I primarily use. It's a, I want to say that's about a 20-inch monitor. I don't remember if it's 19 or 20. I know it's in between one of the two. I do wish I had a second one, which in the future I might actually have my boss invest in getting a second, so that way I can actually have all this stuff here up on one and then have my editing thing up on the other, and after it's done editing I can just go and there it is. And that's kind of how I want to do this and actually make it work out very well. That's primarily what I use. I got these little GigaWares. They're actually pretty decent little speakers. Got these from Radio Shack a little while back. These are actually my speakers, but I brought them in because we needed audio to be able to test audio with any of the stuff I've been doing. So I primarily do use these quite often. They're actually pretty nice. I do like the idea they have a headphone jack and an auxiliary jack right in the front, so that way if I need to plug an audio file or something like that on an iPod or something, I can plug directly in there. And then if I need to plug in for my headphones, I can plug in there instead of have to reach around the back of the computer, which kind of is a pain. Another cool thing is I got these Audio Technics. These are actually pretty nice speakers, or professional headphones. I tend to use those when I'm editing. That's why editors tend to always have headphones, because headphones are very important for editing, because you don't want to drive your neighbors nuts because you're listening to the same sound clip file 75 times within an hour. It can drive people crazy sometimes, you'd be surprised. I do not use wireless. Wireless is the devil as far as I'm concerned when it comes to editing, primarily because if you're in the middle of doing something, the last thing you need is your battery's dying. So one big thing a lot of people don't understand when it comes to wireless stuff. Wireless is great, but it's not good if you're a gamer or if you're an editor. If you just piddle around on the internet, stuff like that, or say you're using a computer that's hooked up to a television, I can understand that, but not this. This just doesn't work. Another thing I've got is I've got a external burner for it, because this obviously does not have a DVD slot or anything. So I got just an external burner. It's primarily just burns just standard DVDs, nothing crazy. Because most of the time when we have anybody that comes in as a client and purchasing any of our stuff, or if we're doing like a large event, things like that, this is what we primarily use to burn with right now. If it's a ton of copies, I take it over to my buddy, because my buddy actually does that. And yes, I'll wear Axe body spray if you guys are wondering. And those are Jackies back there, because I brought all my Jackies with me except for my G1. See, I actually have two of them. One that's stickered, one that's non-stickered. I used a non-stickered to keep it in robot mode, because the stickered version in car mode just looks sweet. And the other thing, you guys have probably seen this before. This is my MacBook. This is my baby. This is the thing I normally do a lot of my editing on when I am not here at work. Sometimes I do a little bit of editing while I'm at work, but primarily I use this when I'm on the go. This thing has been a godsend, and I'm glad I got it when I was in school. I do plan on upgrading the hard drive to a solid state drive and bumping the RAM so that way it's a little quicker. But that's primarily the only thing I'm really going to do to it. And then eventually I'm going to work on getting one of these little babies here one day. But that's a dream. That's a dream. Yes, Megatron is a tank. I don't care what you guys say. This is Generation 2 all over the place. Anyway, wouldn't G2, wouldn't be me. Anyway, that kind of concludes the little bitty tour of some of the work that I do. I didn't go through all my camera equipment because a lot of you guys have already seen the camera equipment from my previous video. If you have not seen it, go here, go here, because that's my video. It might be 30 minutes long, but that's my life as a filmmaker when I started. I'll end up having some more stuff. Like I said, I apologize for any of the lack of toy review, and there's gonna be more gaming stuff, more toy stuff in the future. It's just I gotta get things settled, because things have just been mad nuts crazy lately, and I'm really trying to get everything situated. Like I said, I've got a film that I'm actually trying to work on getting scripted. When that gets scripted, and you have to work on that, you guys might not see me for a while, because that's what happens when you're a filmmaker. But yeah, I mean, that's life. And like I said, with the whole financial thing, I know you guys are out there. If you guys want any toys, let me know. I've got them listed. I got them listed on TFW. I got them listed all over Facebook. They've been tweeted every time I list. Every time I list, it gets tweeted. I don't really want to tweet a ton of pictures, because most of the time if I tweet a bunch of pictures, you guys can be like, well, that's cool. Okay, well, it's for sale. Nobody really says much. Some people's like, oh, I want to see this one, I'll send them a picture. So if you guys are finding me on TFW 2005 and you guys see something on the list you want, email me, let me know. I'll get back at you. I am answering all messages through TFW. I've been answering all messages I possibly can on Facebook. I don't really check Twitter that much. It's no offense, but I don't have time to be dealing with Twitter. I mean, you can see I'm a very busy guy. I do, like I said, I don't make a lot of money, but a lot of the stuff I'm doing is a lot of low budget stuff, and we're always consistently doing stuff. I try to stay on the up and up with a lot of these things, because being part of a community is very important. A lot of folks don't realize that, but I don't care what job you have or what you do in life. You should be part of your community you live in. You should make an impact on the folks that are within that community. Be positive about stuff and do the best you can. I don't care if you have a job or if you don't have a job. I don't care if you're disabled or you can run a marathon. The way I see it is everybody should be part of that community. Do the best you can do. Influence everybody in a positive light, like I kind of do. I mean, I try to do the best I can. But anyway, I just wanted to drop this vlog real quick, so that way you guys can check out some of the other stuff I got going on. I will end up having video reviews up in the future, soon-ish, depending on what goes on. But this weekend I'm a bit booked. Not to mention I've got stuff I gotta send out, because people are emailing me about toys. So if there's anything in particular that you're looking for, you better jump on it, because it's probably going to go. Galaxy Shuttles and Artfire sold within a day of me posting my stuff. Immediately. Gone. Bumble Jumper. Gone. If you want some of these toys, you better get on, because they're going to be gone. My buddy, right before I even dropped anything, bought Triptychon and Scorponok. Bought them. Gone. I didn't even get a chance to even put them on the list, so like I said, there's a big list there. Go through it. I'm sure there's something there that you guys want. Let me know. If you guys aren't happy with the price I have, talk to me about it. I will do the best I can to adjust those to help you guys out, because I need money too, but the whole reason for me to sell this stuff is to get money to get water, get electricity, get internet, so I can do more stuff for you guys. And to be more of an influence in the world instead of that guy that lives in the trailer that looks kind of weird. This trailer. I know, it looks like some crap out of a slasher flick, but believe me, I'm gonna have to paint it. It doesn't have any paint done on the exterior. The interior is almost done. It's got a few issues on the inside I gotta fix, but it's a lot better than it was before, trust me on that. If you don't believe me, go to my personal Facebook and check out some of the video stuff I put up about it. It was pretty bad. I'm actually thinking about collaborating, putting the whole thing together, like, ooh, look, this is what I got. People are like, holy crap, you did a lot. Yep, I did. But anyhow, this is my Plasticon. And this is me signing off. I'll catch you guys later. Peace out.